Welcome to WDW Escape, brought to you by WDW Magazine. This week, get on board for a ride you'll never forget as we take an imaginary voyage on the world-famous Jungle Cruise. All month long, we've been living in the past and having a wonderful time, as the March issue of WDW Magazine is a very special time capsule issue. Nothing brightens a Disney fan's day quite like an opportunity to share happy memories of park days gone by and to experience the magic all over again, and again, and again. It seems like every single one of those Mouseketeers, big and small, young and much less so, has a story to share about one of the most beloved rides of all, the world-famous Jungle Cruise. Let's sail the rivers of the world in about 8 minutes together once more. Watch your step, please. All the way in.
I love my job as a skipper. My parents are so proud of my brother.
One of the reasons that the Jungle Cruise has created so many memories is it has been around forever, or at least as far back as recorded history goes, to the opening day of Disneyland in California in 1955. Walt was passionate about his vision of an experience that would take families on a tour of the world's exotic, far-off tropical lands, and the ride was originally intended to star real live jungle creatures. Eventually, Walt was persuaded that exotic animals made unpredictable stars. They would sleep, or hide, or do just about anything except cooperate with an Imagineered experience. But audio animatronics, on the other hand, were happy to perform all the livelong day. And so the residents of our jungle became electric masterpieces, and the real stars of the show became the cast members driving the boat, or as they became known, the skipper.
There are a couple of toucans. If we had another, we would have a six-pack.
The Magic Kingdom version of the world-famous Jungle Cruise is one of the original opening day attractions that is still with us after all these years, and it is easy to see why. Guests step back in time to embark on an expedition with the slightly ramshackle Jungle Navigation Company, setting off to somehow traverse the Amazon, Nile, Congo, and Mekong rivers. Elephants, gorillas, ostriches, flamingos, baboons, hippos, and one very angry rhino, and a zebra that is definitely not just sleeping, appear in just a few minutes. What elevates the entire experience is the skipper, who delivers a dry, sometimes deadpan barrage of jungle-themed dad jokes in an off-the-cuff manner that almost feels ad-libbed, until you hear the same jokes again on your next visit. When Disney lovers gather to talk Jungle Cruise, it is not the sights and sounds that are shared, it is the iconic, deeply corny jokes.
This is Schweitzer Falls, named after the famous explorer Dr. Albert Falls.
The Jungle Cruise was reportedly inspired in part by the 1951 film The African Queen, and while they do both have a boat, a river, and a skipper, the film bears about as much resemblance to the ride we love as Casablanca does to Casey's Corner hot dog stand. In fact, for many years, the front half of the airplane that's tail can be seen near the Jungle Cruise hippo pool was featured in the Casablanca scene in the Great Movie Ride at Disney's Hollywood Studios, proving, I suppose, that one way or another, Humphrey Bogart stays in the picture.
I'd like to point out some of my favorite plants here in the jungle. This one. That one. That one over there.
In my family's Walt Disney World time capsule, Jungle Cruise holds a special place of honor in that it was our very first ride. Or it was supposed to be. But it was a very light crowd that day, and it is possible that we climbed the Swiss Family Treehouse, rode the magic carpets of Aladdin multiple times, visited the Enchanted Tiki Room, and had a Dole Whip before our Fast Pass window opened, but it definitely was the first standby line we were able to skip altogether, though we learned much later that the radio announcements make the queue a lot of fun as well.
Look at those elephants bathing over there. You may think that's water coming out of their trunks, but it's snot.
When our ship, the Congo Connie, proudly puttered up to the dock, looking for all the world like it might expire at any moment, my son looked at it sideways with some concern. He hesitated before climbing aboard, looking down and frowning. "The water looks awfully dirty," he said. "That's all right," a cast member said in a comforting voice. "If we sink, it'll be the least of your problems." He wasn't sure what she meant by that, but he climbed aboard anyway, perhaps comforted by the fact that his dad was laughing pretty hard, which probably meant the actual level of danger was low. If I had known then what I know now, I might have tried to comfort him with the knowledge the water was not actually as dirty as it looked. It was kept that way on purpose, so it would not be obvious how very shallow the water actually was. Or I might have mentioned that only one boat, the Sankuru Sadie, has ever actually sunk in 2004. It is possible that he might have found neither piece of information terribly comforting. Probably just as well.
Please notice that there's a dock on the left and a dock on the right. But don't let it confuse you. It's a paradox.
If you have been following along with these rabbled little tales of adventure for the last 43 episodes or so, you may have deduced a pattern, in which my children are initially dubious and are quickly won over and swept away by the Disney magic. But this time, it was all me. Oh, they certainly seemed to have a good time, and neither of them fell out of the boat or anything. My wife had things well in hand. And it is just as well because I was laughing my fool head off. In the years since, we have had skippers who were friendly, skippers who were funny, skippers who knew how to work a room, and skippers who could make you think they were playing just to you. But that skipper, on that first visit, was the driest, the most deadpan, and possibly the funniest human being I have ever encountered. I have no idea who he was, and for all I know, he's a doctor or an astrophysicist by now. But he was better at skippering the Congo Connie than most people are at anything in their entire lives.
I hope you all enjoyed your trip around the jungle. I had such a good time that I'm gonna do it again. And again. And again. Every 15 minutes for the next 8 hours.
I remember that first trip like it was yesterday, though it was long ago now. I recall that the first thing we did when we got off the boat was to recite our favorite parts to each other, retelling the story already, as we would do time and time again, and visit after visit. And that's the wonderful thing about opening a Disney time capsule. You always remember the very best moments and enjoy them all over again. We enjoy the familiar, anticipate the new, and keep on wishing on any available star.
If you have enjoyed yourself, my name is Max, and this has been the world-famous Jungle Cruise. If you didn't, my name is Steve, and this has been the Haunted Mansion.
This has been WDW Escape, brought to you by WDW Magazine. If you enjoy these programs, please consider leaving a rating or review wherever you get your podcasts. If you enjoyed this, you're sure to love the all-new content at WDW Magazine, available in print or digital editions. Visit wdw-magazine.com and escape with us today.